Do you want to make a card that looks extra fancy but actually is super easy? You're gonna love today's fun fold. It's basically a card on a card. And this design works with any paper, any stamp set, and it's so simple that beginners can make it in minutes, but it's also one of those that if you are someone who is more experienced and wants to fancy it up, you can. Hi, I'm Julia with Julia Sue's Stamping, and I'm so glad that you're here. I love sharing quick, beautiful card ideas that help you feel confident and creative. Now, if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to be your crafty cheerleader. Stick with me. By the end of this video, you're going to see several variations of this really cool card. And they all use the same layout. You're just going to be amazed at how versatile this is. If you're watching during the premiere, then please hop over into the chat and say hi. I would absolutely love to know where you're crafting from. And if you're watching the replay, then please leave me a comment below. I would love to hear from you. And I will respond just as soon as YouTube lets me know that you've left your comment. I have the full cutting instructions, measurements, everything listed in a free downloadable PDF that is on my blog. The link for that is down in the description, so please be sure you check it out. Please remember, before we dive into this card, like the video, hit the subscribe button. All these things are absolutely free and really help my really small business. So thank you. All right, let's get started. First of all, I'm only going to be starting off with a 1/4 sheet of cardstock. This one is shaded spruce. So it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And you know what? I don't reach for this color very often, but oh my word, it is so rich and elegant. I think it deserves a little more love, don't you? And with the holidays coming, it's bound to get its moment to shine. And I chose the Perennial Lavender Designer Series paper because I was kind of in a purpley mood. These shades look absolutely stunning with that deep green of shaded spruce. And that piece of Designer Series paper is just a 1/4 inch smaller. It gets matted right on top. So that's the beauty of this layout. Just grab whatever papers are going to make your heart happy. And here's where the fun fold magic begins. This card is basically a card on a card. This looks really fancy. It's really quick though. I used another piece of shaded spruce, and this one has been cut just 2 1/2, and it's 8 1/2, just regular, paper cardstock size. I folded it in half, used my bone folder to make it nice and tight. And now I'm going to go ahead and add it right onto the center of our card base. So using some really strong adhesive, and you can use glue if you'd like. I want something really strong, so for this I would probably use tear and tape, or as I have here, the Seal Plus. I want to make sure I line it up real well. It doesn't have to be right in the center. It can be offset one side or the other. It looks really pretty that way, as well as kind of center-ish. And I don't know if I really put it in the center, maybe. Anyway, I like to have a lot of writing space when I'm doing my cards. So I do have 2 little panels of basic white. Each one is just an 1/8 inch smaller. I'm going to put those inside of this shaded spruce. So there's plenty of room to write a nice message. A little bit on here too, to go on to this top piece. All right, so just center that on. Perfect. Next, I'm going to pop a little bit of coordinating Designer Series paper from that same Perennial Lavender package onto the bottom of the inside, just to kind of dress it up a little bit. And there is the base of the card so far. Now let's decorate our mini card front. That's the part that everyone's going to ooh and ah over anyway, right? I've got a smaller pattern of the Designer Series paper out of that same DSP pack, and I'm going to adhere that to the front, and you can just see how these colors sing together. I've got a larger print of the Designer Series paper on the base of the card and a smaller print on the little mini card, the card on a card. I'll set these aside for just a second. For the sentiment, I'm using the Label Me Grateful stamp set. This one is so sweet. And on a piece of scrap basic white cardstock, I stamped the sentiment, "So grateful for that heart of yours," and then I cut it out with this die cut. So I've already done that ahead of time to help save us a little bit of time. I did it down toward the bottom here because I wanted to have some room to decorate up here, but I just love a big sentiment that can be the star of the show. I'll pop it onto the front of the card using some dimensionals. So I'll get a few of these on there. And I think one in the middle too, so the sentiment doesn't collapse down into the center. Taking off the paper backing. And now laying that right down onto the card front. And I think I'll bring it down here just a little bit. All right, there, I like how that turned out. So remember those other die cuts I want to use? I cut them out of some of the Designer Series paper, and this one is out of the Shaded Spruce. Just watch what happens when we're going to lay in a few of these die cuts. This gorgeous card is going to go from simple to stunning in just moments. A little bit of liquid glue on here, placing it underneath there, and then I'm also going to put on the flower. Perfect. I love how pretty that is. Now I'm going to dress it up with some rhinestones. It's a sparkle moment for sure. I'll put one in the center here, and now I'm going to surround it with the others. So I'm going to cover up those little holes that are there. So 6 of these little rhinestones around the outside. There. All right, and just 2 more here. 1 and the last one there. How cute is this? Definitely a sparkly moment. And now I'm going to put on the last bit of leaves that I cut from the Shaded Spruce. Mostly I'm going to do the adhesive down the stem. All right, and now I'm going to place it right over the top. Yay! Oh my goodness, how pretty is this? That is such a simple little detail. It just catches the light and makes the handmade card look really professional. This design really makes me smile. So it's the perfect blend of simple and wow. And remember, just swap out the paper, colors, or sentiment to fit any occasion. Speaking of occasions, I just couldn't stop at one of these layouts. I've got 2 more versions of this fun fold coming up next. It's the same layout and totally different looks. One's a little more rustic and happy, while the other one is sparkly and elegant. So let's take a peek. Here's the first variation, and I love this one. It combines plaid, plants, and patterned paper for a cozy, rustic feel. I used Cajun Craze and Early Espresso as the accent colors, and it instantly gives this design a warm autumn hug kind of a vibe. That larger patterned paper here, the plaid from the Gathering Together Specialty Designer Series pack, layered over the base card, is just a great way to start off. And that smaller pattern Designer Series paper on the mini card just repeats all that Cajun Craze tone beautifully, tying everything together. And you know, that's also from the same Designer Series pack. It's the Gathering Together. So this layout completely changes the mood and uses that exact same simple layout. The sentiment piece is using that same die that I used before, but this time I stamped it with many thanks. I cut this apart a few weeks ago from the Gathering Moments stamp set here that has it in one line. I cut it so it was in two, and it has been really versatile and a good thing to do. You know, don't be afraid to modify your stamps to suit your needs. They're your stamps. You do what you want with them. If you're not comfortable with that, then don't cut them. It's okay. To complete this scene, I have a few potted plants from the Rustic Centerpiece stamp set. I colored them with some Stampin' Blends and earthy browns and greens, a little bit of Cajun Craze there, and they framed that sentiment perfectly. And how do you like the little double linen bow? It's a really simple finishing touch and adds a lot of texture and charm. All right, are you ready for a whole new feel? This next version trades the cozy autumn vibes for frosty elegance. It just makes me smile. This one uses a longer mini card. See, I cut it at 11 by 2.5 inches and then scored and folded it at the 5.5. The base is the cloud cover. Designer Series paper is from the Peaceful Garden Designer Series paper. It's a blend of soft blues. Feels kind of like winter air and cozy scarves. You can see I've got 3 shimmery snowflakes that were cut from the matching glimmer paper. Each one has a little rhinestone right in the center. Look how pretty that sentiment looks tucked beneath the snowflakes. Thank you, Stamped In Secret C from the Label Me Grateful stamp set. This is simple, it's clean, and just sparkling enough to send to anyone who has made your day brighter. So, whether you decide to go bold and autumnal, soft and snowy, or floral and elegant like our first card, this layout adapts to any season, style, or mood. It's one of those fun go-to folds you'll want to make again and again. It's so quick, simple, and easy. So which one is your favorite? Let me know in the comments or chat. It's always so fun to hear which style speaks to you. Well, can you believe how simple that is? What a fun fold card. So versatile, and you know, no one is going to know that you made it really quickly. It looks like you spent a lot of time on it. Remember to grab your free PDF in the link down in the description. And hey, if you give this layout a try, please be sure you tag me on social media. I would absolutely love to see your variation. Thanks so much for spending some time with me today. I really appreciate it. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day today and that you have a chance to get inky. Bye.